Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whenever you are. Welcome to the community live stream. My name is Chuck Tomasi from ServiceNow, and I am here to bring you answers and thought processes. It's still early for me. It's 6 a.m. Did I tell you that? And I want to welcome you. Thank you for joining me. If you are joining on YouTube, let me get the subtitles going. I just want to make sure that YouTube is running. I do see it running on Twitch. We have this running on Twitch and YouTube concurrently. If you are on YouTube or Twitch, give me a wave. Say hi in the live chat, and I will give you a shout out back. Let me know where you're from, and make this a community. That's the job today. I am going to be looking at the community behind me, and I have no idea what I'm going to be covering. I have no idea what people are going to ask. I'm just going to dig in and do my best to help for the next hour or so and see where it takes us. I look forward to sharing that with you. You get some of the thought processes, the best practices, the stuff behind the text that comes out in the answer. And that is the whole point of doing this. I have some good questions from yesterday that were answered. Let me get comfortable. I have my cup of tea. Much better than yesterday. That one's an orange spice, and I didn't steep it quite as long. I think that was the problem with the ginger. It got a little over gingery. Anyway, let's go to the smaller headshot. And as I mentioned, if you want to watch this on YouTube, or you are watching this on YouTube later, thank you very much for joining. Put a comment in the chat box, and let's see who's out there today. Subscribe to the channel. You get notified when the broadcast starts and when the video is posted, all that good stuff. You know how to run YouTube. I don't need to tell you that. If you are watching on Twitch, we do have a modest audience out there. Not quite as many people, but I appreciate it all the same. Thank you for watching on Twitch. And I also want to remind you that Knowledge is coming up. You can go to knowledge.servicenow.com. This is our big conference, May 7th through 10th at the Venetian in Las Vegas. I look forward to seeing you there. It's going to be a great time. We have a lot of neat new things. Online lab guides and workshops for Knowledge and CreatorCon. So there's not going to be any printing. It makes it easier for us. If somebody spots a mistake, we'll have it right there. We can fix it. Lots of great stuff. Architects, CIOs, admins, developers, there's something for everybody that is there. Also want to, let's go back to this and remind you that you can get a free personal developer instance running our latest release of software, Kingston, or if you prefer to practice on Jakarta or Istanbul, those are also available as well. So we have the current -2 releases available on the personal developer instances. You can get those over at developer.servicenow.com, and it will look something like this. Maybe not as beat up and bruised as mine is. It's probably time to wipe that thing and start over. But it's a fun sandbox. You'll see me use this from time to time to get answers, to dig in, to reverse engineer some things and say, hey, let's go explore that. Perhaps we'll do some of that today. Not sure. Again, I don't know what I get every day when I do this. The other thing, what have we got? We talked about YouTube, Twitch, developer, YouTube. Oh, of course, if you've got a question, I appreciate you asking in the community. That looks more like this. If you ask in YouTube, YouTube and Twitch chats are going to be great for just sticking your hand up, saying, hi, I'm in Florida, I'm in India, I'm in wherever you are, Sydney. This is kind of a crazy time because I can reach almost around the entire world. Most of the Pacific Ocean is asleep right now, so probably not Hawaii. They are at 3 a.m. right now. But I know Sydney is something like 6 hours, 8 hours behind me. So maybe. We'll see if we can get from them. And but if you, as I was saying, if you want, just say hi in the chat. Good to see you. We got a regular Aspen Now Solutions. Good morning to you. Thank you very much for joining. And if you've got a question, go over to community.servicenow.com and I will do my best to post there. I don't know everything about ServiceNow. That's a myth. My focus is on the platform, custom applications, integrations. I know a little bit about performance analytics. I know a little bit about ITOM. We'll see if any of those jump up and I can help there. That's my hope, is to be able to move the conversation forward, if not answer it. That would be the ultimate goal, is to answer your questions and issues. So with that, let's put the subtitle away and get to work. Also want to remind you, before I go, the CreatorCon Challenge, the deadline is February 15th. There is $1 million in prizes if you are looking at doing a startup and getting started with your application, getting your business based on ServiceNow. Get that into the pipeline. Go to the community and just search for CreatorCon Challenge Countdown. That's what I did to get to this article, and it will walk you through everything you need to know about how to get set up, where to start. Fred Luddy, the ServiceNow founder, will be there. I got to see him briefly at our sales kickoff a few weeks ago. He's looking great, doing great. Same humble guy. He's a wonderful guy. Wish I had more time to have a conversation with him, but that's another discussion for another time. That's not what we're here to do. It is time to get to work. And I, just before broadcast, noticed this one in the unanswered questions. How do you manage your audio and visual equipment, meeting room equipment, that sort of thing? And it said, that jumped right out at me and said, Chuck, didn't you once upon a time write an application that did just that? I was in a situation when I was a customer. We had laptops, we had mobile phones, we had projectors that we had to check out. So I wrote an app on ServiceNow long before they were called apps, called the Loaner Request System. And I posted it here, and it is available on the Share portal, which this article links to for the latest one. Let's bring that up. It's in a blog post I wrote, back in 2011. A little over a year after I started with ServiceNow. Copy that link. And hi, Baron. I wrote an application back in 2010 and have been updating it periodically here. Back in 2010, just for this purpose. Let's be a little more. Just for this purpose, I've updated it a few times since. You should have no issues finding it on the Share portal via this link. I invite you to check it out. Ta-da! It's been very popular. Seemed to have struck a nerve with that one. Always fun. This person says, I have a CGI class for them and asset in terms of software. Where do stuff like Chromebox sit? It's part of meeting room connected to The challenge I have with just making an asset or a class in the CMDB is that you don't get any of the conflict checking. So the loaner request system was set up kind of like a car rental agency where somebody says, hey, I need a laptop, and it has to have these capabilities. But they don't say which specific laptop. Just like if you're going to rent a car, you don't say, oh, I want that red Hyundai Sonata license plate number. No, you just say, I need a medium-sized car. And it's up to the rental car company. If they don't have one, they'll upgrade you. If they need to get a resource from another pool, they'll do that. That's their issue to figure out, and that's what I did with this request system. And it will handle more than just laptops. It's multi-asset, multi-depot capable. So you could have laptops in Chicago, you could have laptops in Sydney, you could have laptops in London, and somebody saying, I'm going to be traveling there and I need a loaner laptop. They don't have to carry one with them. They could pick it up at that site, which is kind of nice. I do have a few messages in my inbox. Let's see what we have. This one, Suzanne asked yesterday about baseline before and after upgrade. What do you use? And I put in a comment that said, for what it's worth, ServiceNow is working on a customer success center that will be premiering at Knowledge. And the initial document I'm working on is all around upgrades and the best practices about those. So look for that coming up at Knowledge. And I'm also working on one on scoped applications coming up soon. So Suzanne wrote back a few minutes ago, it's worth everything and good news from the system administrator point of view. I'm missing a bit of detailed knowledge for me who isn't a developer nor manager. If that makes sense, Dravi links to a number article that I've read, but was still looking for more detailed information, detail about the platform health and performance when you upgrade. I like the blog ServiceNow Elite. That is a good resource if you haven't looked. There are a lot of good resources. In fact, if you search in the community for, I think I just call it ServiceNow Developer Resources, and there's like 20 links in there to different blogs and communities and whatnot. Very good. Very good. Very good, Suzanne. Thanks for sharing the link to ServiceNow Elite. In fact, I am going to see if I can find that real fast. There's the loaner request system. It was developer resources. I started a discussion about a year ago because I was going to a meetup and people said, hey, what resources do you have? That looks like I haven't modified in 8 months. I know there are some links on here that need updating. Thought I updated it. Anyway. Let's find out. Yeah, I probably should because the wiki's gone. Let's do that real quick. All right, edit. Hold still, hold still, hold still. Get rid of the wiki. Bye, wiki. It's officially gone as of December. ServiceNow docs. A few people watching. Thank you very much. Give me a shout out, letting me know where you're from, where you. And I think that's the only update I need right now. Scroll to the bottom and we'll hit save. Post. Done. Then we can give that link. Where was I? I was in the inbox. ServiceNow Elite. Here are a few other resources you might find handy for this and other questions / learning opportunities. Ding ding. Okay. Inbox -1. Phone number E164. This came up yesterday. The person said, hey, I'm changing the country selector, but it's not changing the country code on the phone number. So I went over to my personal developer instance and put in a phone number field. Tried just that. Mine worked fine, so I suspected somebody had changed a property or dictionary attribute. And Amarjeet said, yes, that was indeed the case. Someone changed the system properties. Good to know. Thank you for the follow-up. Let's see what else we have new today. Scroll down here, looking for unanswered questions, which means they may have replies. Oh, and because I modified that discussion from about a year ago, it percolated to the top. Maybe we'll have some fun. Maybe we'll get some new resources on there. IP address added to exclusion list. Whew. Chandu's all over this thing today. Report on notification preferences. I'd like to take a look at that. Might not be answering anything, but at least I'm looking and learning. This is the other half of the fun to the community, is learning. How to use multiple user login in one developer instance in ServiceNow. Multiple user login. Oh, they're talking about possibly doing like LDAP and something else. Want to use customer chat and customer email in ServiceNow developer instance. Take a look at that. Widget client controller translation. I just heard a discussion on that. Auto-resolving calls after 5 days if caller does not update. That's built in. Want to populate a field by appending values of 2 different fields. That sounds like a calculated field. Let's go through these. I just pulled up some random ones. Take a look at. We'll discuss them as we go. Okay. Does anyone know how IP addresses get added to the exclusion list. I know that you can manually add it, but there are instances that I see it added automatically. For example, I have computers that were added to the exclusion list automatically, and it shows in the computer list that the laptop hasn't been updated for over 6 months. Check out the links below. They may help you exclude IP addresses, configure an IP address range on the mid server, and exclude IP addresses. They're not the same link, are they? That goes to community 295.901. This goes to docs. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Reporting on notification preferences. I have a report that provides me a list of customers monthly that I then email a survey to. Essentially, it's a list of users who logged in 1 or more tickets in the prior month. Is there a way to query user notification preferences? Chandu says, check the link below. How do I manage what notification preferences people see? I'm looking for a report on the notification preferences? That's got to be on a table somewhere. Let's go see if we can dig in a little bit. Tables. Everything's stored in a table somewhere, right? System definition tables. You are not logged in. I logged in right as we were going on air. Crazy thing. What's my timeout? 10 minutes? Makes for entertaining. Hi, Surrender from India. Hope you're having a good evening. Hope your Tuesday was well. Thank you, thank you. Appreciate the nod. You are almost exactly half of the way around the world from me. I believe it is going on 7 p.m. there. And it is just about 6:30 for me. Where was I going? Tables. That's right. Tables, tables. System definition. Tables. Started reading some documentation yesterday on SAP. Wonderful platform. Success factors in particular. I'm looking for a REST API to communicate back and forth. And just getting my head around the terminology and whatnot makes me appreciate what people do to learn ServiceNow, because I've been doing ServiceNow for almost 10 years. I sort of forget, how abstract things seemed at the time until you go to another platform and try and learn it again. I feel very comfortable in ServiceNow and then uncomfortable in another platform. So I truly appreciate what everybody is doing on their learning curve. No question is too dumb. Ask, please. The other thing that made me kind of chuckle was one of my job details is to help contribute content to the developer portal at developer.servicenow.com. We'll put that up right quick. And also the community, not the community, the corporate site, servicenow.com, has some application pages on it. And I keep chuckling to myself, am I really an authority to be providing content for a global enterprise software company? Wow, that's pretty amazing. When I went to look at SAP's site, I had to chuckle, though. There were some typos in there, like contract was missing an R. There was a link with a regular word smashed right up against it, missing a space. I went, wow, okay, so SAP's a big global enterprise software company too, but they missed a proofreader somewhere or other. So we're all human. We're just people. I just happen to have a webcam and play with the community and broadcast it. So I'm not a celebrity. I'm just here trying to help you through other things. It was a fun day yesterday. It was a long day yesterday. It's gonna be another long one today. Where was I going? I was going for notifications. Let's not notify, notifications. Let's just take the Y out of there. Let's see what happens. You using Charm SAP Solution Manager? No, we are. I'm working on a demo for CreatorCon. We're doing the Developer Theater on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday in May. What would that be? The 8th, 9th, 10th, I think. And one of the points is I want to integrate with SAP. So I'm learning how to do the REST integration, which they call I can't remember. They have a term for it. I was reading too much information and it all leaked out. Okay, archive push notification, notification device, notification messages. How about preferences? Live, notification condition, notification filter, notification. Wow, there's a lot of notification. Notification subscription. That might be the one. I'm going to look for sysnotif subscription. Push notification, push notification. Let's see if sysnotif, if I remember right, there was 2 layers to this, kind of like sysnumber became the number maintenance tables. That's not it. Notification subscription. Let's just do something then. Under here is notifications, and let's do this. Find out. This is how I reverse engineer some stuff. Approval error message response. Primary mail. Drill into that. Waiting, waiting, waiting. Take a drink. I don't need that. What I need is that. If I turn that off, what just happened? Let's see if we can find out. Can we get that out of sysaudit? I don't know if that's an audited table or not. I don't think it is. Created. C to A. Sys event processor, status, aging level, cert flow. Not seeing anything in here that is driving me to a notification. I don't think sys history is going to tell me either. How do you know what just happened? Oh, that's my JSON field. That's no fun. That was a while ago. Nope. How about the event table? Maybe there's a clue in there what happened. It may happen asynchronously. How did I get to studio? Oh, I hit enter. If it can't find anything, and you hit enter, it takes the first thing on the list. Event log. Transfer, glide, heartbeat. These aren't sorted the way I want them. Login, session established. Nope, 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 nope. I do not know. Check the link below. How do I manage notifications about people see? That's just what you manage, but it doesn't tell you. Is there a way to query user notification preferences? That wouldn't be under sys preferences, would it? Killing a lot of time on this, but that's okay. User preferences, not presence, preference. I don't think it is. User preferences like that are usually for, you sorted this list in this order. Updated, reverse. Yeah, see, like this one. You sorted the user preference DB order and direction. That's what I just did by clicking that button. But I don't see anything about notifications. Update set, app picker. That was all yesterday. Yeah. Happy 6th of February, everyone. I'm sure it's a holiday about something somewhere. Happy whatever it is day. Yeah, Jay, I don't see the subscription, notification subscriptions in there. I should know this. I remember our notification team pointing it out at one point. I don't remember where it was. Shame on me. It's in a table somewhere. I went to, let's go back to tables, which is in sysdb object of all places. We have some crazy table names. It's usually because a developer will start down one path and then we'll change the name later. let's see if subscription turns up anything. Subnet, Azure, model, subscribers, that's CMDB. License, 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 no. Sys notive subscription. How is that not a thing? Because when I pulled that up before, it said no records. Nothing in there. I thought that was where it was. So you can pick your subscription and say group affected. Well, let's see what we can find. Let's go to group affected. User, system administrator. I'm just going to put something in here. It's not the way that I really thought this would go. And then check this. Notifications. I don't remember which one I did. I probably should have picked one that was easier. Group something something. Group affected. Which is in which category? That's interesting. That's not a reference field. Table incident. Okay, so we can find it from there. In ITSM group. Whoop, too far. Group affected. There it is. And it is on. What happens if I turn it off? And refresh this record? Does active go off? Does the record get deleted? Does anything happen? Nothing. Interesting. All right, I have no idea. Let's do this. Let's follow this and see what happens to that discussion. When I don't know, I want to learn. And that's one way I can do it. Go back to the main index, see if there's anything new that we can answer there. I know I pulled up a whole bunch of other things a few minutes ago. 2 columns appearing in list view. Dig into that a little more. Hi, team. On the case form, under related tab, 2 columns were appearing. How to remove one field from the list view. I don't have case management installed. That's a related list. You could. Unrelated tab, 2 columns were appearing. How to remove one field from the list view. Are you talking about the wrapping? You can manage the columns that appear on the related list by right-click any column header and choose Configure List Layout. You can choose which related lists show on that bottom section of related lists from the form menu by choosing Configure Related Lists. I think it's time for a document page link. Still not sure how Studio came up. Related lists. Copy link address. There we go. Hopefully that was the intent of the question. It is 1:30, in my time zone anyway. Thank you for joining. 8 people out there. Good morning, Jay. Good morning, Surrenda. Let me know where you guys are from. Always interested. If you think this is valuable, I appreciate it. Hey, I forgot. I got this guy from Lily Lee, who's our developer, program manager, marketing person. She gave me this little ServiceNow robot with the red bow tie. See how we match? I want you to help me give this guy a name. That's my current ask of the video people. Let me know. Send me an email, chuck.tomasi@gmail.com. You can spell my name something like that. Say, hey, I got an idea for the robot name. How to use multiple user login in one developer instance. I have using ServiceNow developer instance in Istanbul, and I have only one user login details to log in this instance. I need to use multiple logins to log in. Login in this does not depend on the computer or cloud-based. I believe your user account is by default the admin account. You can. There's any possibility? Yeah, you can. Pretam kind of nailed that one. It's yeah. I'm just gonna follow up on that. Kind of summarized it for you. When you get a developer instance, you are given admin credentials so you can create, manage other user accounts. Basic system admin tasks. You might want to check out user management. No. Interesting, not on there. He linked to this one, and I like to go over to the contents and see, is that part of a sub of something else? User administration. Right idea, wrong word. And new company, department, create a user self-registration. Look at the user administration page for more info about basic ServiceNow user management tasks. Okay, make that a link. I did copy that. Always helpful when you post a reply. If you have questions, post them in the community. Just want to say hi, like Patrick did. Good morning, Patrick. Hope you're staying warm in Chicago, Jay. Hope to see you guys all at, oh, we had a few more responses. You can share stuff with other guys. Your personal dev, create the user separately. Good. Hope to see you all at Knowledge. Don't forget, if you are signing up for Knowledge, to check the checkbox that says CreatorCon so that you have access to, even if you don't go, you just have access to the workshops and sessions that are part of CreatorCon. A little more in-depth, a little more technical. The tea is getting cold. Time to, I'm grabbing the wrong mouse. It's time to move on. How to use computer chat and customer email in ServiceNow developer instance. Hi, I have been using a developer instance in Istanbul. I want to connect customers to receive queries. So how to use customer chat and email in ServiceNow developer? Is there a way? Developer instance, a private dev instance to play in, subprod instance, a customer. Did Pretam say that one already? Oh, Scott. Scott is right. Please avoid using a personal developer instance for quote-unquote production use cases with customers. They are put to sleep if they are not used. I would hate to have your customer be unable to access your instance. If you have a customer need, I highly recommend signing up for a production and dev instance so you can properly manage them and we can support you to the fullest. Someone probably saw, hey, free instance. There was one other thing in the inbox. We do have a couple replies. Let's go take a look at that. I got a like off of Developer Resources. Thank you very much. Can't delete records from the location table. Posted a year ago. Seems to be a lot of these discussions that are popping up, but then again, over the last couple of years, I've responded to many things, so I'm going to get alerts on a lot of them. I tried to delete the child records and then parent records out of 45 out-of-box location records. There are 10 locations unable to delete. These 10 records do not have any child record. Kindly help here to delete all location records. Okay, if I remember right, if you went, we're going back to tables again. In fact, I may have this in the history. Tables. Don't forget about this little clock over here. It's very handy for recent records that you've accessed. And you go to location. Did you say? CMN location. There is a button that says delete all records. Widget. Well, it was on my inbox, right? Yeah. Okay. Hi, Supriya. Try going to system definition. Tables, locate the location, CMN location. Table, open that record, and click delete all records. Here, I'll even give you a free screenshot since I was just there. That one. Inbox is right there. Paste. A play-by-play. Isn't it fun? You can tell what keys I'm hitting even though I'm not even looking. Okay. Business rule on table doesn't trigger when a job runs. In Toad and updates. What's Toad? Does anybody ever know what Toad is? I was reading through this before and I couldn't figure out. It runs in Toad application. Okay, so 2 questions because they @mentioned me. By the way, doing an @mention doesn't guarantee a response. I may look at it and go, I don't know. You're asking me about, security stuff or GRC. As I said at the top of the show, I don't know everything. I don't claim to know everything. I know a fair amount about the platform. There are very, very smart people that I often call upon to get answers. Okay. 2 questions for you, Srikanth. 1. Here, let's make it a list. What is Toad? That's what I call my cat. One of my cats. And can you share the business rule in question? And just like that, another 10 minutes has gone by. Wow. How time flies when you're having fun. I'm going to save that one for just a minute. I want to close out with that one because it might be a lot more discussion. Let's go back to the main index, see what's new. How to cancel approvals from business rule. That I want to see workflow field draft when I make duplicate equals true. Oh, it's a knowledge workflow. Here logic is when I cancel workflows, then workflow will get draft value, but some records approval equal requested. When I make duplicate equals true, then immediately approval should be reject and workflow field draft. I would think knowledge is just using regular workflows. For whatever reason, I can't wrap my brain around this one right now. That just happens sometimes. I look at it and I go, sounds simple, but I don't understand the entire problem. Toad software is a database management tool set from Quest that database developers, database administrators, and data analysts use to manage both relational and non-relational databases using SQL. Oh. Toad for Oracle and MicroSQL. That's a tool. Okay, so I look at that. Oh, I don't have it anymore. Can I find it? That one. If I read it again, how does that fit into the context of what we're saying? We have an after business rule defined on a table. The business rule has to run when a particular field changes. Okay. For some reason, the business rule doesn't get triggered when the table record gets updated as a result of a job that runs in Toad. This is an integration question. Hope I got that right. Thank you, Surrenda and Jay, for the back information. Whereas the same business rule runs when you do the updates manually or make some changes through the background script. Can someone please help me? And the answers were, did you check to make sure run business rules is on? And the response was, yes, run business rules is on. I said, check the transform scripts. The answer was, did you mean setting a record under transform scripts or set target.set workflow false? Well, if you do that, that's going to turn the workflow off. We have tried using set workflow false in the transform script, but that hadn't yielded any results. Is there any better way to check? Okay. Let's take a look at what the business rule says. There may, on an outside chance, there may be a call to gs.isInteractive. And if it's returning true, or if it wants true, then it's not going to run through an integration. It's a way to say, hey, I'm only going to run this business rule if you are at the keyboard, if there's a human out there. Okay, did I miss? I missed a whole bunch of stuff that came in while we were talking and typing. How to hide or remove quantity field from service catalog. That one looks like it's pretty well answered. A couple of responses. Client script on LitView. Got 3 responses to that already. A lot of good responses when people ask about scripts. I usually go in and check just to make sure they're using best practices. There's an awful lot of bad answers out there. Not terrible answers. They're just encouraging bad behavior. And I want to stem that if I can. I am trying to apply client script on a list view. Please, is this possible? Only client script that works is on cell edit. What do you need to do? I need to add a tooltip when users hover over a column. Quite easy to do on a form. I think there's a way to do it. We'll message back and figure it out. Yeah, easy to do on a form, but on a list it's difficult. If you have any suggestions, please share it. I'm working too. I thought, yeah, if you have a hint on the display name for the column, that can be localized. Yeah, so if you've got a label here, and you go, that is the display name for the table. If you go to configure label, you will get on the hint. And that is what shows up. I might have an answer for this one. You hover over the label. I better check this in list v2. This is list v3 right now. If you hover over the label, it will give you, working a minute ago. Maybe it's a list v2 thing and broke in list v3. No, I don't want list layout. There are still some versions between v2 and v3. I found something yesterday that works in list v3 that doesn't work in list v2. And that is the ability to add a list field value in that little drop down. So list control, disable list v3. And if I hover over label, screenshot, 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 let's get that. Okay, quarter two. Okay. The hint field seems to work fine using list v2, but not list v3. Sounds like a bug. You don't need a client script to make this work in list v2, of course. You know, let's rewrite that. Take that out. First I throw random thoughts on the page, and then I try and make a human readable sentence out of them. Rats. Where'd my screenshot go? There we go. Configure the hint by right-clicking the field on the form and choosing Configure Label. Fill in the hint field. And that's what you'll get when you hover over a column header, as seen above. Well, let's find out. Don't know if I'll get an answer in the next 14 minutes, but hey, it's fun. Anurag is one of our top, what do you call them? Top people in the community. How to cancel approvals from business rules. That one hasn't shown up yet. Got a couple more replies over here. How to use customer chat and customer email. Rajesh has responded as well. Ooh, videos and everything. Correct me if I'm wrong. The question is about, can we use customer developer instance for Connect Chat? Let's see how that goes. 2 columns appearing in list view. This was the one about configuring related list. Come on, bring up the thing. Bring up the thing. All right, you can check table of 2 stop time fields if yes. Is there 2? Did I not see this picture clearly? Elapsed time, business time, target time, stop time, start time, stop time. Interesting. Normally you can't put the same field over there unless it's a reference field, because it will take it off of the list on the right. Unless they dot walked. Could be the stop time from the other one. You check, you have 2 stop time fields. You may have 2 different fields with the same label. Someone dot walked to a parent start time field. Right click on the column header and choose configure list layout and check what is on the right side. You might find one says start time and the other parent dot start time, for example. Not much you can do about that. Labels, labels, labels. I get you every time. All right, what else have we got? I said I'd save this one for the end. I will save this one for the end. Jason says, replacing update sets with scoped applications. Got a good discussion started here. I read it this morning while I was putting away some breakfast. So I'm wondering if anyone has given any thought to replacing update sets with scoped applications in their practice. I'm talking about even with base system changes to modules like incident and change. A couple of years ago, I remember a community post by @C Tomasi, that'd be me, Asking the question on what is preventing people from using scoped applications. Are you still developing in global scope? I know for me there was a big licensing question around scoping at the time, but the current iteration of scoping, but it looks like subscription management section of the scoped app definition now should have that question resolved, if I'm understanding how that works. I've not really looked at scoped applications in a while, but have started giving a second look, and I'm really liking what I'm seeing. This is another hotspot for me. I mentioned the Customer Success Center that's launching at Knowledge. Scoped applications are currently on my radar. It's been a hot button for the last couple of days for me, so I am in the early stages of writing content around that, around best practices. Not telling you how to build a scoped application, but if you choose to do that, some of the best practices of doing that will make it more effective. Of course, why you want to do a scoped application will be in a preamble somewhere. All work is done in the default update set for that application. True versioning, enforcing all work is done in dev. Essentially, all work is done in scope containerized. My question is probably more targeted at implementers, but I'm really wondering if anyone has tried doing an implementation without using update sets, scoping all changes from the start. What downsides can you think of? And I happen to have an interesting article. Let's see if I can bring this up on the right screen. Copy link address. Paste from the community, Doc 7746, that was written earlier this fall. Understanding application scope, a nice white paper. What do we do? Doesn't necessarily preclude you from using update sets. In fact, there's one use case where I would really recommend you still keep using update sets. Hi, Jason. Good questions. I happen to be just getting started on writing content for the Customer Success Center to be launched at K18. That covers some of the best practices around scoped applications. I just thought of another one that I have to put in here. Hold on. Where can I put that? There. To-doist. Development. Sorry, I didn't even type that right. I was so fast. But it'll remind me later. Cover something best practices. While scoped application development provides the publish install feature, you can still use update sets. And in fact, there's one case where you really should. Modifying sys choice records. Other than that, the app repo, aka publish and install, does a fine job of making releases easier. Here's something you might be interested in. Don't forget, another benefit of using scoped apps is delegated development. Extend your developer talent pool, developer resource pool, to non-skilled people or even skilled people with scripting capabilities to focus on certain parts of your scoped app when modifying out-of-box apps using a scope. And give someone the capability to create fields and tables, but not ACLs, scripts, reports, etc. Let the pros do the pro work when needed, as needed. And let the user community focus on the low-hanging fruit. Okay, delegated development. Quick note about that. May have that user notification location. I went to user table schema, which took a very long time to load, and saw CMN notif message. I think you're right. There's a flag there for send email and send SMS. Not sure which post that was for. It was the reporting on notification preferences. I think you're right, because it was changed a while ago. Let's look at CMN notif. Thank you, Jay. Message. Notification messages. I just want to take a look at that table real quick, see what it looks like. And I can always copy that. Copy. Advanced filter, conditions, configuration, item, cost center, created device, filter, group, location, da 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 da. Let's look at a list. Table name dot list will bring you up a list of records in that table. And approval error message response, that's the one. Okay, this tells you what's been changed. It doesn't tell what's on by default. For example, there's a ton of things in there that are turned on. I turned these two off, send false, and now that I've messed with them, they will remain in this table. But there were also a bunch of other notifications. This is sort of a, how do you know what's on when it's not in this table? That gets a little weird. So CMN notif message is going to tell you, hey, somebody changed the preference, either turned it on or turned it off. But it doesn't tell you what the default is without going into the notifications themselves. So you almost have to do a two-step report. One, what are all the notifications? And two, what if people modified? That's not pretty. But it's worth making a mention of that. Hi, Nat. Thank you, Jay. Thank you very much. There is a table, CMN notif message, that has modifications made to the default settings. I don't think you're going to get what you need from one standard report. For example, if I have a notification called update user update, sure we'll do it that way because my fingers decided to type that, not what my brain said. And it defaults to on. There are no records for anyone in CMN notif message until a user turns notif message regarding that user update record, until a user turns it off and potentially back on. Sort of an overrides table. It doesn't paint the complete picture. Okie doke. Yeah, interesting configuration. I wouldn't have thought of that, but it kind of makes sense. Because if you create a new notification, what are you going to do? Go through all 10,000 of your users and put in 10,000 new records that says, oh, let's turn it on for all these people. From a performance standpoint, I can see that. you had, say, 10,000 users and even 50 notifications, which is a few, you would have 500,000 records in that table. So what we do is we say, take those 50 records and then go look and see, are they turned on and off for this particular user? A lot less searching, a lot less record keeping. A lot nastier reporting is what it is. All right, that takes me to the end. Let me see. I answered that one, but I still have one more. Client script in list view. El Falahi says, I'm not speaking about labels, I'm speaking about columns on records. For example, here when I hover over true, a tooltip should be shown text, for example, true, and false tooltip would show false. All right, I thought that was also available. Let's give it a try. Let's see what happens. We'll go into one of these records and set the hint field to, it's not what I wanted. It was send email. Where's the send email field? Open record. See, I don't even see send email in there. Is that even coming off of this table? I hate it when that happens. Could try something else. Let's go to task.do. Take this another way. Active. What's the value? Yeah, that gets a little crazy because then, yeah, I can see there's an issue with that already. It's translation. Since I already have a value on the list, what's the point of a tooltip? You would have to store a value and another value. If you encounter a long string where the string is truncated and ... at the end, hovering over will show the full text value of that field. For true, false, it doesn't make much sense. If you have a number field, for example, that says incident 001, 001, 2. What is the purpose of hovering over it to see ink 001, 002? Can you help me understand? Thanks, Jay. Hope you have a great rest of your day as well. I am about to turn in as well. The inbox is empty. Oh, not anymore, it's not. Business rule on a table doesn't trigger. Answered my question. All right, so you have access to ServiceNow database and you're connecting using Toad. Using set workflow. False. False. I can type. Having an issue with an import using target. Set workflow false. Is going to turn the business rules and workflow off. Wouldn't you want to try true? I'm still curious to see what the business rule looks like. There may be a mention of gs.is interactive that is causing it to not run or integrations. Could be a data policy too. Don't know. Alrighty, let's make one last check. And I think that's going to do it for me. Another busy day. Lots of good stuff coming your way. Hope to see you at Knowledge. And don't forget, name this robot. That's community. I wanted that one. Chuck.tomasi@servicenow.com. Give this little guy with a red bow tie a name. And I will talk to you, with any luck, tomorrow. Thank you very much.